Yo, what's up? In my early transition, I thought I was the least fortunate trans woman in the world, but I came to realize that a lot of individuals feel that at least one point in their transition. So if you've had or have those thoughts, I'm making this video to show you that things do get better, that you're not alone, and that it's ultimately normal to feel that way. So let's talk about my darkest moment when transitioning. In my very early stages of transitioning, I started dressing as feminine immediately because I wanted to rip off the band-aid right away. Thing is, I was in my 20s, and to be honest, I didn't look that great, which basically everyone's going to feel in their first year, but mine was actually echoed throughout my experiences. See, having no skill with makeup, having absolutely no skill being a female at all, and throwing on very feminine clothes, people didn't really take it well. I remember going out into public and constantly being afraid of people laughing and staring at me. Oh, at this one time, I went to buy clothes, and one of the store clerks had called their coworker to literally make fun of me as I was in the middle of buying this really cute backpack. Everyone treated me much worse than before I decided to come out, and overall, it was a very damaging experience. It got so bad that I had to make sure that I had earphones at all time to make sure I could drown out the environment, because even if people weren't laughing at me, the paranoia and anxiety that I developed was severe. And you'd think finding people within the community would help, but I actually had a coworker who was trans, and she was like in their 5th or 6th year or something like that. Of course, I was in, I think, my 3rd month when she found out that I was trans. She completely dunked on me, dude. So, having been cut off by the only person I met within the community, and basically the entire world, I felt like I was probably the ugliest person in the world, and ultimately, I was in a very, very depressed state. But I held on to one thought, that things will get better. And they did, and they do, just so you know. But the moment where I realized how bad it had actually gotten, where I had actually seen the depths of the damage on my soul and my heart, is this. I was going to Walmart for some basic purchases, one of which was headphones, because I was constantly going through those. I only had one headphone that was working at the time, so I could hear what people were saying around me, even though there was a little bit of a muffle from the earpiece still being in. I heard laughing, but nowhere near me, so I don't know if it was about me. I heard people talking, but never heard anything about me. But the anxiety was so bad that at the time, I thought that even the semblance of a smile was at my expense. Because I honestly did have some very tangible bad experiences. So I grabbed up my items and went to make my purchase, but then I realized that self-checkout was closed for the night. I was faced with the worst thing at the time, and that was any type of human encounter. Dun, dun, dun. I was used to seeing a friendly cashier say goodbye to someone in front of me very kindly, and then when they talked to me in a very cold way, they would shrug me off, only to leave and then them greet the next person behind me with a smile and kindness. So as I did every time, I waited for the person ahead of me to leave, and he got a smile and he left. Then it was my turn, and I couldn't make eye contact. But I successfully made my purchase, and something caught me off guard. I remember the cashier, it was his tone. He sounded kind. He said, "Have a nice day." I looked up at him, and I was not used to that experience anymore. Not for the last few months, at least. And he smiled at me. I literally panicked. I didn't know how to really respond. I probably looked like an absolute blubbering mess, because I wasn't crying, of course, but I was not sure really what to say. I probably overly thanked him, grabbed my stuff, and then ran out of there. When I got outside, it started to hit me. I had this deep pain, this emotion beginning to seep into my chest, kind of like a warm drop of water had landed on my frozen heart, and I could feel the coldness for the first time in a while. With each step, I would feel it more and more and more, until I realized that I was about to cry, and there was nothing stopping that. Got into my truck, I slammed the door, put my items beside me, I locked the door, and I just cried for a while. The level of pain, displacement, loneliness, isolation was something I got used to pretty quick. But only when I realized I was used to it, I felt the actual pain of it. Sure, going out every day, being anxious and scared was the experience of it, but the raw emotion behind it hit me all at once. And I didn't know where my life was gonna be. But I realized that no matter how terrible people can be, there are nice people out there. And I held on to the thought that things would get better. And they definitely did. And I wanted to one day be able to share this, because I don't want other people to go through it, because everything I saw online was people being happy and portraying perfect lives. Shortly after, I got into my first relationship with a boyfriend. And, I mean, he changed who I was. He was someone that was very nice to me. He was someone that completely shifted my thoughts on who I was. And every negative experience I had pales in comparison to the effect that that had on my life. Just that one person. So, I guess moral of the story is, you're gonna have dark times. We all do. But that doesn't make you any worse than anybody else. And there are good people out there, even if it feels like there isn't. And you'll find them more and more and more, but you can't give up on meeting people. So yeah, don't give up, stay strong, all that stuff. I realized this video was very different than my usual. I'm quite busy making a pilot episode at the moment. Next week on Sunday, I'll be releasing that on this channel, and I hope you look forward to that. If it goes well, gets good views, all that stuff, then I'll be making a series around it over the course of a few months. So yeah, that'll be up next Sunday, and thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped out in any way, shape, or form. All right, catch you later. Okay, bye.